Agnė, welcome to the Upper Glen podcast.
Hi, thanks for
Hi.
inviting me.
You are welcome, love. I am here in your back garden, which is absolutely stunning. How
Thank
have
you
you been
so
keeping,
much.
Agnė?
I'm doing very well.
I haven't seen you in ages.
I know,
Remember
very
before you done my lashes, extensions, spider's legs. I loved them. Agnė, tell me a wee bit about what you do now. I've seen you've been very, very busy.
Yes, I'm busy. I'm doing so many things at the moment. Eyelashes, lecturing, doing level 7 aesthetics.
Yes,
It just all go. I'm just
all
doing
go.
more and more and more.
More and more. And you're loving the aesthetics, aren't
I
you?
absolutely love it. It's the best.
Very busy. What's your favourite aspect of it?
Well, all it's new.
All of
Everything
it.
is so exciting.
Everything's so exciting. So you
Definitely.
teach it as well, don't you?
I teach all beauty, most beauty.
Most beauty. Yeah,
beauty
yeah.
and guilt.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah.
And where are you from originally?
Lithuania.
Brilliant. So you come over here and you work hard and you're powerful. Remember we had a conversation
Yes, I
before
remember.
about Russia, and I wanted to go to Russia and it didn't happen. And she says, "Oh, Glenn, I don't know if you'll like Russian men." Do you know what I mean? I think you're right.
Yeah, I think I'm so glad you actually didn't go.
Yeah.
I think it meant to be for you not
Yes.
to be there.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah.
Maybe meant to be that I wasn't meant to be there, just in case something bad maybe would have happened.
I know.
Agnė, what have you been doing all summer, love? Tell me.
Studying very hard because I'm doing my level 7 right now.
Yeah.
For aesthetics, so it is really time consuming and really hard work.
Really hard work.
Really hard work. I'm just doing new courses all the time. It just never stops.
Never stops.
I love it. You know, it's good to be busy.
It's good to be busy. Yes. Have you been away anywhere on holiday?
Yeah, I've been to Ibiza.
Ibiza? What was it like? Was it good?
Shit.
Shit?
Well, I'm not gonna go there.
It wasn't good, no?
No.
Did you go to any clubs?
No, not really.
No, all good. Agnė, what was the last thing that you manifested?
Well, the best thing so far for me is aesthetics.
You've manifested it all?
It's the best. I'm so surprised even doing it.
Yes, you surprised yourself?
Surprised because was scared of needles and blood.
You were?
I was.
Yes, now you've overcame that.
And the moment I pierced the skin, that was it.
Oh my goodness.
I do that every day now.
Do you know, I love it. I feel like aesthetics now are really, really booming. It's a really booming business. I feel like people are starting to take care of themselves more. There's a goddess element to that, isn't there?
Absolutely.
I feel like maybe even in ancient times too, maybe this is what the goddess might have done. I don't know. Beauty and like just different parts of the face and all, editing the face. I think it's been around as old as time, really.
It makes so good for people to feel.
Yes, the confidence.
It's amazing.
Yes, confidence based, definitely. And you have quite a lot of clients, don't you? You travel all over the place, don't you?
Yeah, I do travel. I do a lot of.
Yes, whereabouts do you go to? Where can people find you?
So to be honest, for the training or what you mean?
Where can people find you? Say on social media. What's your handle?
It's aesthetics and training on my Instagram.
Yes.
Or Lash Boutique on Facebook.
Yes, Lash Boutique on Facebook. Folks, check her out. And what days do you do? What places do you go to?
So I work at the moment in Portadown.
Portadown, folks.
Work here in East Belfast.
East Belfast.
And I'm now in the middle of arranging to work in clinic in city centre. Yeah.
And have you hosted any parties lately? Some of your parties I've seen.
Actually,
now I haven't been, but I've seen some of your parties. You've hosted. You have to send me some videos to put in the clips. Some of your parties are really off the scale. If you weren't doing aesthetics, I would definitely tell you you'd have a career in events and planning.
Really?
And, oh my god, yeah. Oh my goodness, yes.
Well, behind this, I have good people who are doing it.
Lots of help. Agnė, what would you say to anybody at home that's maybe thinking about getting a wee treatment done, maybe hasn't had anything done before? What would you say to them?
Oh, just go for it. Just
go for it. Just try it.
Come for consultation and
Agnė will take care of you. Absolutely. What would you say, Agnė, to anybody at home who is thinking about business and thinking about getting into business? What would you say to them?
Just try. Just go for it. The only thing, I have a lot of people come to me and they say, oh, I don't know what I like. I don't know what to do. Yeah. You need to try. You're never going to know.
You need to find, because you say now you love needles and all now.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I never knew it. I can even do it.
Amazing, folks. So you imagine you've got a fear of something and that ends up becoming your actual job. Well, that would be remarkable. And I feel like that's really what you've done. Absolutely.
I know.
Yeah. Do you do it on yourself?
Oh yeah, everything is, people come to me.
You look very natural.
People say,
you look so
natural.
You
look so natural. I was like, yes, all my face is done.
Yes, you do look so natural, honestly, and I feel like that's part of it as well. Especially when you're a practitioner, I think Well, for me, I remember looking at a girl when I for doctor first done mine years ago, my Botox. I looked at the girl behind the counter and I went, she looks quite, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then there was another girl I remember came out, was quite frightening. It was like, oh, she was a wee bit older because she went a bit too far.
Yes,
do you know what I mean?
It's so easy to go too far.
It is, and I would imagine if that was me, if I was doing that, I'd be sticking it in all the time, like.
Yeah.
But imagine you get a lot of healing out of actually seeing women become really confident out of it and seeing that confidence grow.
That's the best thing.
Yeah.
For me, after when we look to themselves and how we happy are, it's amazing.
Yeah. So Agnė, where do you think you'll be in a year?
Well, I'm really hoping I will finish my studies in 1 year.
Yeah.
And after maybe open clinic.
Yes.
But at the moment, I just still a lot of work to do.
Yes. Hopefully the next time maybe I'll be going to Agnė's clinic to get wee things done, and we'll do another wee one. Agnė, would you come on the podcast again?
Of course, definitely.
Thank you so much. Say bye, everybody.
Thank you so much.
See you soon. Bye. Do you need a message from a loved one in spirit? I'm doing an exciting new podcast, and I need some guests that want to read. If you're interested, please get in touch. Danielle, welcome to the Up the Glen podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me, Gordon.
You're very welcome. Danielle, how long have we known each other?
I think it was primary 3. I moved to GLEN in primary 3 and with
Mr. Maltman.
Mr. Mal. How do you know Mr. Maltman?
Mr. Maltman. I was always in trouble. I was on level 3 or 4.
And I was on 4 card.
And GLEN Primary School, we used to have behavioural levels, and if you were bad, you had to stand in the patio and different things.
The patio. I forgot about the patio.
Remember the patio and the teddy boxes? Do you remember everybody had a teddy box?
Yes.
And if you didn't have your teddy box all night, you put on the patio.
Yeah.
This was me.
I was always on the patio.
So you joined in year 3. That's right.
Primary
I remember.
3.
We've always sort of like stayed friends. What happened?
Well, because we've kind of always had the same kind of energy and the same focuses and things. We're more self.
Whenever I was a lot younger, when I got into photography, one of the things I'd wanted to do was photograph models. This is what I wanted to do. Danielle was modeling at the time. We had photographed in my back garden with Bailey the snake.
Bailey, yes, he was actually a rescue that I had rescued him with the word of vows he got me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't wait to get photographed with him. And you were the only photographer that was like,
let's do it.
I'll have a rep.
Because at the time I was really like, you didn't just press a button. It wasn't just like a filter boom. Back then you had to be creative and you had to do different things. And I was just really excited about doing anything that was like people were going to go, oh, what? That looks
different.
Good. Yeah. And I thought to myself today, what was that snake's name? And I went, bingo, it was Bailey.
It was. They were all named after alcohol.
Yeah, they're all named after alcohol.
Bailey, tequila, Malibu.
Yeah. Do you have any snakes at the minute?
I don't. Plenty of snake friends, but not snakes.
Plenty of snake friends. Plenty of snake friends. You get rid of all them. See Patrick them away. You love your animals too, don't you? You've done a lot with the world of birds and things.
I love animals, as in a sense, because I was born deaf.
Yeah.
So I never really have friends.
Yeah.
When I was younger, it was more animals.
Yeah.
Plus, they don't judge you.
Yeah, yeah.
But
you had to learn to hear too, didn't you?
I did. I didn't hear until I was primary 6. Was Mr. Hayward?
Yeah.
So it was. We were in Mr. Hayward's
and
class.
He was a music teacher too. He was
all
the
like first person.
That
I actually heard, like teacher way. So animals are my thing for that reason. But again, they don't judge you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And all they want to do is love you. So just.
Yeah, you love animals, but I mean, you used to have snakes, reptiles, chinchillas.
Like I had snakes, I had my water dragons, I had my beardies, I had my curly tails, I had my dogs, I had my cats, I had birds.
Yeah, you've had fish, and you were living in Australia too for a while, weren't you?
14 months I did Australia, and I loved it. In fact, I'll be back tomorrow.
Do you think you would go back for a wee bit?
Oh, I am going back.
It's not even an if. A lot of connections and that out there too.
Big time. I have a sponsorship and everything out there as I can, but obviously coming home to the child and getting away like that. Plus I was too old, believe it or not. You've got to be under 31.
Yeah.
So you need to get a sponsorship, but I've made my connections there. So but
you'll be able to
it's
go back
definitely somewhere I'm going to go back to and explore a bit more and venture out.
Yeah, yeah. Danielle, you just became a granny recently, didn't you?
I did. 23rd of January.
And there's loads and loads and loads of ones that were in our year now. And I know they've said to me, some actually people I know too, and they're going to be grannies. And I'm like, I'm old enough to be a granda.
I know. But yet, back in the day, you'd only been old enough to be a daddy.
I know.
And now you can be a
just
granny.
Fucking like that. Just click. And it's your whole fucking, half a life's away.
But I'm not gonna lie, when she told me, I was like, fuck, I'm sorry. Like, but like,
You're
you
like
say,
the customer when your daughter then tells you you're pregnant, you're like, fuck!
I was just like, I'm gonna cry. My words to her was like, see, when you have baby, I swear I'm karate chopping you to the throat.
Yeah.
I can't hit you now, but I swear.
Yeah.
But then obviously it was just, and then gradually just watching the wee bump grow.
Yeah.
And then I actually was there the whole birth and got to cut the cord, still have the wee cord, everything.
Yeah.
And then just watching her's like,
yeah.
Being a mum's one thing, but being a granny, knowing that's your child's life.
But it also, it's like ding dong, it signals your freedom.
Well, that's also another thing. It's me knowing that she's an adult now. She's her own child, her own family, and it's my time. I actually have, like, you know me, I've never had my time. No. It's always been QC and work. So yes, time to like live a vida loca.
Yes, put yourself first a wee bit, and celebrate and go out and start doing the things that you couldn't do when you were young. Because many young mothers will be listening at home, and many of them start right now where you maybe were, Danielle. What would you say to them?
Mine would be is every day struggle. You're always going to have points in time where you feel that you're on your own, or you're going to think, where have I went wrong? You never do go wrong because you learn from them, and it's not a mistake. It's just not knowing a situation. So never doubt yourself. Just keep pushing forward, and every situation works itself out. And never let go of your own goals and dreams. Because I was young age, I kind of did, and I didn't realize that. And schools back then didn't push you. So I was just like, I need to be a mom. I need to be a mom. Now, as Casey's got up, and I went, no, it's time for me. And I do DK events and the Princess Pamper parties. Now I still do all that. So I just focus more on my own business. So it would be more to tell parents, as in, yes, your child is your child, but number one should be yourself, because if you don't look after you and do the best for you, then you can't do the best for your children.
Big time. See, years ago too, I remember years ago, what people didn't realise too, there was websites like Model Mayhem, Folio 32, like, and what you could do was, if you had photographs, right?
Yes.
You could upload them, and then other photographers then would say, right, I want to do time for prints for you. So you could really like build up your portfolio. Do them websites still exist? They still are?
I think they are still there, and they were really good for people. Obviously, you know, mine's was a wee bit there. I went out and got mine all done properly out in London, because I actually got mine done when Casey was in hospital, and they wanted to photograph her, and then asked me would I be a model. So I sort of done mine from there. But Model Mayhem was really good for the likes of people that are aspiring and have that confidence that you can do it, and don't need a side piece on the side. Them sites are still there, but Facebook's took over. So everything's on Facebook. So Model Mayhem, what do you call the guy that actually owned it again? I talk to him all the time. I can't remember. No, Tim, he was one of the members of it. But he wasn't the owner of it. Can't remember his name anyway. But
anyone at home know who owns Folio 32?
Yes.
Let us know in the comments.
Because they're on Facebook, and it is one of the main sites to go for now. Again, it's still a lot of time for prints.
A lot of those people, those photographers like Tim Cully, they didn't even realise, but they taught me so much about photography, and they don't even realise it. I miss that learning. I mean, even this right now, Danielle, what I've done right now, I mean, this whole podcast thing started off around in the hut. Now it's somewhere else and just throwing up wee scenes, and I'll be back in the hut again soon. But for me, this is the creative thing again. I'm still learning. I'm still doing it all.
Well, that's it. Everything's a learning curve. And you never see if you ever in a position of a hobby or a career that you love and you feel you've filled that potential. Then that's not really the potential for you, because every job and everything you do should always be learning. Do you know what I mean? But I'd have been the same, and like you say with Tim Colley, he was one of the biggest.
He was one of the
that really helped me. More so, I did sometimes for prints with him to build up my portfolio of over here. Because in London it was high fashion, over here I was more for like implied and glamour. He, even though he was a photographer, he taught me my angles. He taught me about shadows and making triangles. You know, most people think, oh, you stand, you really have to have certain shapes. And he taught me so much, but he made me feel like I was beautiful. He made me feel like I was, and I never once felt like I wanted to stand like this right anywhere. I don't know about, I would dance about naked in front of the fella, and I knew he wouldn't have. So he just gives you that confidence and that ability to know what you should be looking at when you go to a photo shoot than when you go to, you know what it's like, there's some out there and you go and they're taking shots, and some things are in their pocket that shouldn't be in their pocket, you know. And just
posturing, I had to learn that, like, I really had to learn that. But Tim was absolutely one of those people I used to look at his work and go, I want to one day be like that. No, photography wise, like, totally incredible. So Tim Colley, we love your work, you're fantastic.
Definitely.
So Danielle, what was the last thing that you manifest?
Last thing in a month, actually, it would have been yesterday. I actually was going to this class. It's actually down Willow Reach, down at the waterfront.
Yeah.
They're all about mindset, mental health, and things like that. And mine's my manifestation, because I have been going for a wee bit of a rough patch.
Yeah.
So it was more for myself. It was about bringing myself to happiness. And so it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before. I'm gonna tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna make friends. I'm gonna go out and do. And I've actually made 2 friends from yesterday. Asked me to go out last night, taxed me all day today.
Yeah.
And again, it's the energy that I know I was giving off, because the week prior to that, I was at the same place.
Yep.
But
see if you shift your awareness.
I didn't want to talk to anybody. And they were maybe saying, "Oh, I'm like, thanks."
Yeah.
Where last night I was like, "Fine, Glenn." Like, it's just,
you
know, it's shit. Like, I was more. I was giving out what I wanted back.
Yeah.
I was, and whenever I was giving out the hostility, I was getting that back.
Yeah.
And then I'm wondering why am I so on my own? Why I did it. I was creating that. I was keeping the waves out,
like
knowing I was keeping
you've needed that by the time on your own. Love, fuck me to have. Yeah, definitely have, because you've been a mummy such a long time. You've been working hard. Nice, like your time. Honest to God, it is. And I'm feeling that too. Like,
that's it. Casey's 20 in 2 weeks. 2 weeks time. Starting in September, she's 20 years old.
Yeah, you were 15 when you had her, weren't you?
I just turned 15 2 months, and I had moved in.
And you made it work.
You got to do what you got to do. I mean, nothing's impossible. It doesn't matter what age you are. At the end of the day, when you have a job to do, you get that job done. If that's what needs to be done, don't rely on other people. Yeah. So you got it. Young mummies at home, you can do it. Yes, Danielle, you've been a great guest. Thank you for coming on. Thank you very much.
Will you come on again before we wrap it up?
Definitely.
Definitely. And next year when we make another series, you're definitely going to come on again.
Oh, 100%. I'll be back. Thanks for having me.
Lots of love, folks. See you later. Bye-bye. Well, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Danielle for coming on. What I think is really remarkable was Danielle's ability to actually talk about where, that place, that willow tree place, that what's amazing is, I'm going to tell you in a wee second, but obviously maybe you don't know, I have ADHD at various points in my life. I've had wee bits of depression and things, and I've actually had counselling myself. But I want to say thank you to Danielle for coming on and actually saying about how, these services are helping her and blah, blah, blah. So I had actually contacted the girl, and it turns out I actually know the girl, a very lovely lady called Brenda Shanky. Now, honestly, I'm so impressed by this lady. I've contacted her and I have asked her to come on as a guest. Now, this lady does counselling, but she also does a bit of mediumship too, which I think is fantastic. The setup that she has now, this willow tree place where she's working alongside them, I need to get more details on it. It's a really unique space, really, really unique space. And what I see them doing down there, crafts, things like that, they're counselling, yoga, and I'd actually said to Brenda, I would like to start making mental health trendy. Let's start making counselling trendy. I mean, in America, we all know America with therapists and all, and people seem to see therapists no matter what. And I just think, do you want to know something? We live in a culture where, well, I certainly am from a background where it's kind of like men don't speak about their problems. I'm certainly from that background where men have to be men. That's kind of what I grew up in. And for me, learning to be able to speak about things, like, it's taken me a lifetime, really. I'm still not really all that forthcoming about some of my own struggles. But you know what? I thought maybe it's time to do a wee segment just and be real. I wanted this podcast to be light and bright and to accent some of the people that just have been through different wee things, and just to allow those who are listening at home, no matter what your situation is, to go, well, all right, boom, such and such went through this. It's making everything relative, all right? Now, I still have some of my own struggles. I often do not feel good enough. I often don't feel worthy. I often don't feel... I have a range of bloody issues. And I try not to let them get me down as such, but sometimes I actually think that I could be doing with some counselling right now as an adult for trauma and just for different things that I've went through, just for my own head. So it's something I'm really going to look into. And I would advise anybody at home too, spirituality aside, and for those of you maybe you're listening now, you maybe aren't all that spiritual. For the spiritual people out there, you know yourselves, your go-to probably is spiritualism. I mean, that's my go-to for coping, usually is spiritualism. However, I want to say that whenever I was a lot younger, I would have been 18 or 19 at the time, and I actually had been very, very suicidal. And one of the counsellors I had went to see, very, very lovely lady over in West Belfast. Her name is Amanda Hughes. If anybody knows Amanda Hughes, get her to contact me. Just to thank her, because this lady really taught me different ways of thinking. And in my younger self then, what I thought I would have got from counselling wasn't what I got from counselling. What I actually got was so much more than I ever could have anticipated. So just want to say to you, folks, do not knock it until you've tried it. I do think we live in a culture where we don't always talk about the things that's wrong. We do suppress a lot. And sometimes it may be needed just for us to go and speak to someone who can understand us and help us understand our ways better. I think it's remarkable. So I'm all biz now that we're touching on those sort of things. My next couple of guests, I'm going to actually tell you who they are. Brenda Shanky, I'm going to be getting her on. She's definitely agreed to come on. She's very excited about it, and I can't wait to meet her. Now, there's another girl called Caroline Rutherford, right? Caroline Rutherford, I've actually known from I was 15 years of age. Caroline runs a social exclusion group called the Pathways Project, and it's run by Extern Northern Ireland. And basically, if you grew up like me and you were wild growing up, right, and you have ADHD, and say you got expelled from schools, what Pathways does is, instead of you being excluded and not getting any qualifications in your last year, what they do is they take over from school. You go to there, you're in a smaller group, say a group of 15 people. The tutors come in, they teach you. It's learning in a whole different way. All right. Rather than your whole education be worth nothing, External Pathways takes responsibility for those that teachers and schools and other organisations have failed to take responsibility for. All right. Now, I'm just going to say that I'm not dissing anybody. I'm not dissing any organisations. I'm not dissing teachers. But you've got to understand, certainly when I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was younger, there wasn't a lot of training out there. Teachers weren't very well equipped. They didn't know what they were dealing with, and we were pansied off quite a lot of the time. And whether or not that still goes on right now, obviously, I haven't been in school in almost 20 years. But whether that still goes on, I mean, that's not my point. But what I'm saying is, groups like the Pathways Project, people like Caroline, like I can tell you now, I've kept in touch with this lady all of my life. And this lady has kept in touch with all of us that run Pathways Project all of her life. 20 years later, we're still in touch with her. So I'd actually sent her a copy of my book because she's in my book a wee bit. And she was, I can't remember whether I sent it or she went on and she bought it. I don't think she could wait on me sending her one. So she actually went and bought it. And she was delighted. So she was. So she'd actually messaged me and said, Glenn, I would love to do your podcast. And to me, that was like an angel, because there is nobody probably better equipped. What I'm saying to you is Caroline knows me from I was 15. And honestly, I think she has a funny story or two to tell about me. But honestly, I salute this woman. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about ADHD. We're going to talk about some of these things. We're going to connect with some of the other experiences that I have been through. All right. Because one of the misconceptions is that people see you on Facebook or they see you on social media and they think, God, oh, they mustn't go through anything like that. They mustn't, I'm holding a microphone now, and as I look down, I can see the scars on my wrists from when I was a younger boy, when I was a lot younger, not knowing the world, self-harming. I wasn't always in the place that I'm in now. And I'm not saying that I don't have mental health problems now. I absolutely do. And what is frightening for me now is, I'll be really real with you, I've never really been on antidepressants. All right. I'm not knocking them. I've always felt that one day, possibly, through grief or through things happening in life, possibly I will need that. But what's worrying for me is I'm on an ADHD medication, and that ADHD medication is called Elvans, and it's actually a stimulant. I'm not too sure if I could ever have an antidepressant alongside my ADHD tablet, or would I have to surrender my ADHD tablet to get an antidepressant? And that is something I don't know if I could be prepared to do. So for me, it really is also about having good people to talk to. A lot of my friends are like counselors. However, haven't spoke to Brenda wee, but I definitely think that I'm going to book in. Just, we've got to keep taking care of ourselves. And, it took me long enough in my life to accept, all right, I have ADHD. I need to take that medication. I mean, it took me really till I was almost 30 to go, I don't want to be without that. I don't like my life when I don't have that. I don't like the outcomes when I don't have that. I don't like that version of me that can't cope when I don't have that, and I didn't want to see that until I was older. So I want to say also to those of you at home who have children who have ADHD, or maybe you've got ADHD yourself, and they will not listen about their medication. Oh, I don't need that. That makes me feel wiped out. I can't take that. The ranges of excuses. This could be one of the reasons why they are falling down and not getting to where they need to be in life, not getting to where they need to be in life. And that for me is something that I feel like through my own journey and my own process, that's something that took me a lot. It took me a long time to realize. And if I could instill that in other people, then that's what I want to do. So over the next sort of episode or two, I'm going to touch a wee bit more on mental health. It's obviously, as you know, I wanted this podcast to come on and be a bit of a laugh. And it is a bit of a laugh. It is. It's a laugh and it's whimsical and it's light with some spiritual tones and some serious tones. But for me, I wouldn't be where I am now in terms of a reader, in terms of being a psychic fortune teller reader, in terms of being a spiritualist. I wouldn't be where I am now had it not been for some of my mental health problems. And that is really, I couldn't be any more real in saying that. My ways of coping, spirituality, I want to say, has saved me from what was a miserable, mundane life without purpose. Do you know? And I know I often think that one of the merits really of my life. I know one day I'll look back on this life, whether I'm an old man or whether I'm looking back from the next world. I'll transcend back on this life now as GLEN, as psychic GLEN, as whoever I have created. And one of the real merits for me is honestly being able to help other people. That to me is the real prize. That to me is the real purpose. Do you know? I had everything. I had everything I wanted when I was young. I had all the experience I wanted when I was younger that I thought I wanted. I had the success, I had different things. All of them things didn't make me happy. Money didn't make me happy. It eventually led to me being a hardcore drug user, to be honest. This is where I had to learn hard lessons. And, I'm grateful now for the way my life is and being able to help people. So that's where I wanted just to put that out there. I'm really, really excited for my next couple of guests to come on, because especially Brenda as well. We're going to be able to touch a wee bit on mental health. I can't wait to hear her points of view. Her energy is lovely. If you've seen Brenda Shanky, you'll know who I'm talking about. And if not, search this lady up. She's absolutely fabulous. So I can't wait to get her on. Find out a wee bit about what she's doing. Keep you posted. I mean, it's just like this. We can all choose to suffer or we can help ourselves in life, and that's really where I see it. And often that can only come from you. That can only come from you going, well, God, I do need somebody to talk to. I do need to see a counsellor. I do need a psychic reading. I do need whatever it may be. And it's great, really, really phenomenal actually to see those services out there and coming to life. So that's something that I really want to bring a bit of awareness to, as well as Caroline and the work that she does too, because it's more than just a job for her. She genuinely cares about what she's doing. She genuinely cares about some of the youths that have been involved in the project. And I'll be honest, we have lost some of those youths. Some of those youths have passed away, and very sadly, some of them didn't even make it to adult life. And I've watched that lady, Caroline, grieve like they're her own children. All right, so this is what's truly remarkable about her. So I can't wait to bring her on. They're going to be the next guests that you see. I think that'll be episode 7. Um, so we're going to be talking a bit about mental health. And one of the things I wanted to put out there as well, for those of you who are listening, if any of you at home that are listening right now has that wee bit of courage in you, and you would like to come on this podcast and talk about anything that has meant anything to you in this lifetime, please get in touch. All right, we don't have to be so serious, but we can be serious if you like. It's good to put serious tones out there in a mix with what is comedic, what is funny, what is knowledgeable. It's good to also put those serious tones out there, because I'll be honest, folks, if I've went through certain things, I can guarantee right now other people out there are going through them too. And if I still feel with all my success and the things that I've done in this life, which isn't an awful lot compared to what I would like to do in life, if I can still feel unworthy, if I can still feel some days like I'm not good enough, if I can still feel some days like the old problems are still there, I can guarantee other people at home still go through those things as well. So just want you to know we're all normal. we're all human beings, and I think that more people have influence, more people that. This is why this girl like Brenda, I want to say, be honest, well, I'm so glad Danielle come on and spoke of her struggle. I'm so glad Gemma come on and spoke a wee bit. I mean, Verona as well. If you've heard her story, what phenomenal. Some of those girls are going to be coming back on and they're going to be revealing a bit more. But I want to be real. I absolutely am saluting the people that are choosing to come on and be real. All right, because I feel like more influencers, more people out there, more people that have a public profile, more people that have influence need to start being more real about the human that they really are and not just the job that they're doing now. Because, this is where we're caught up in this world where we've got so much illusion, and it can be so easy to think that, all right, just because someone say maybe has a large following, or just because someone has a great job, or they appear to have what people think you should have in this lifetime on the surface level, that is not to say that they don't go home at night and cry themselves to sleep. That is not to say that they do not feel good enough. That is not to say that they don't suffer from the trauma from the past. They don't relive that. That is not to say that they sometimes need a loving arm of support. That is not to say that they aren't like me. Do you know? So this is where, with some of these laughy tones we're putting in, we're going to put some real shit into, and I'm glad that I have the opportunity to do that, because it's so important to all the people that are listening out there. Listen, your mental health is important. Your head is the most. Your brain. Like the last time I was at my psychiatrist was actually last year, and I had a great yarn with him, a really really great wee chat. And he says to me, he says, "Oh God, I actually love my mind. I love what my mind is capable of doing." And he says, "When I was younger, I didn't know that my mind was capable of doing what it's capable of doing now." All right. And he said to me, "Glenn, you should enjoy your mind. You should take care of your mind, but you should enjoy your mind. The mind is the most beautiful gift that we've ever been bestowed." And for a psychiatrist to say that to me, I mean, I could not agree more. It is. Your mind is everything. And this is where sometimes I want to say it's like a sailboat. Sometimes the wind can carry the mind anywhere, and sometimes all we've got to do. Sometimes we need a wee bit of help doing that. Is it just them sails? No, so we're not fucking swaying about everywhere in the wind. No, the mind. Imagine fucking swaying about the wind. Nature can be vicious. It can be stormy as fuck out there. This life can be nothing but a shitstorm. Sometimes all you need is just someone to put a wee umbrella over you. And that's just the point I would like to make to this wee bit. So, super duper excited about my next couple of guests, folks, to be talking about some real issues. And again, if anybody at home wants to come on and speak about some issues, I would be absolutely delighted, because this is what it's all about. Having a giggle, yeah, but also being a bit real. So, also, you might have heard I am putting together a new podcast. I'm wanting to do this in the autumn and winter months. The new podcast is going to be called Glen's Gift. And basically, what I'm doing is I have put out a bit of a casting call on my pages. If anybody would like to get involved, please email glennngordon666 at icloud.com. Basically, what I'm asking is people who would like a reading for me. Now, you're going to get this free. And also, especially with mediumistic stuff, I'm asking that the people that I invite to come on to the new podcast, they bring an item with them belonging to the person in spirit that they would like me to bring through. Now, obviously, this new podcast is going to be much more emotional, much more deeper, much more serious tones, and there's going to be a lot more healing. All right. So, for those of you who are diehard spirituality fans that love me for what I do in terms of my work, you're going to love this new podcast. I don't really feel like I've ever really put anything out like this before, and when I have, it's simply been cards and tarot. I've never really felt comfortable doing spirit and milking it. All right, I'm just going to be real. I have never felt comfortable milking death. All right, I am not comfortable doing that. In many ways, the biggest jewel for me doing is being the fortune telling part. I mean, I had the book of fortune around me from a really young age. It doesn't teach mediumship. I had the mediumship part there all along. It's beautiful. It is. It's beautiful in the right sort of setting. So, in terms of creating some media, a podcast maybe people could listen to that are going through grief, that can help them understand spirituality in terms of what way I see it. All right, because these are my points of view. What way I see spirit, what way I choose to deal with that energy, what my take on that is might not be the same as other people's, and this is where it's going to be a real good podcast. So I'm really really delighted to start creating it in a completely different format from this one. Obviously, I'm going to run this one as long as I can, but this one will be ending probably later this year, before it gets too cold and things. But next year, I'm definitely going to bring it back with longer episodes, more guests, and a lot more being featured. Um, it was all just basically a test run to see what I could do. And now that I've done it, certain elements are coming into place. And where do you see this? There is a girl that actually had found me through, I think she found me through Mr. Dave Elliott's podcast. Now this girl really loves me. She just loves me. And only been following me not that long, but when I put out the casting call, she got in touch. And I'd told her all the details. And when I told her where I lived, the girl nearly had a somersault because turns out she lives actually in the same street as me, and she didn't even know it. Um, and she was actually the first girl to contact regarding this, and she already has the item there that she's going to bring for me to bring the person through. So I just feel like this is the universe already working, making it easier, making it like I can already see that the universe and spirit really wants me to do this next podcast, wants me to do Glen's gift, wants me to do the mediumship, and wants me to go the whole hog. So that's what I'm going to be doing. If anybody would like to get involved, please send an email to GLENNGORDON666 at iCloud.com. Maybe you've got a grieving parent there or a grieving relative that needs some help that would really benefit with some time with me. Now, obviously, I'm wanting to really make the next podcast audio only. There will be a mail video for advertising, but I'm not planning on maybe doing the whole video thing. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm just going to see what way it sort of pans out. But you'll be able to listen to sort of a full reading on the new series, which is going to be awesome because I just feel like if you're able to listen to that sort of stuff at home, I'm going to forget the cameras are rolling, forget the mics rolling. I'm going to forget about it and do my job. And then you'll maybe see the contrast between what is Glen and what is psychic Glen. So really looking forward to it, folks. I want to say a big thank you to all my guests that have already came on so far. You know, when I first started out doing this, I truly didn't think anybody would want to come on. I thought I would have to fight with people to get them on. I thought it would be a struggle, but it hasn't been. And to those who have came on, I have seen the lights go on. Meaning like they have came, they have spoke, they have podcasted, they have loved that, and they will live the podcast again because they felt that good. All right. Meaning like the lights were on, but nobody was home, but now they're home. That type of energy. They'll love that. Great. It's great for confidence. And I'm already aware of this energy anyway, as I spoke to Danielle about whenever I first got into photography. I mean, it all goes back to me wanting a photo shoot. It all goes back to me being fat and being the ugly teenager that it did. I mean, I ended up giving myself an eating disorder. You've no idea the type of things that I actually have went through, but all that other stuff has actually led me to from one thing to the next. I mean, getting the photo shoot done led me to buying the camera, led me to photographing models like Danielle, led me to everything, led me to the path I'm on right now in many ways. So I want to say that I'm really delighted some of the guests coming on, and I already know from me doing photography in the past, that was what I was addicted to. That was what made me want to get into this in the first place. Long before I even did portraiture or had a photography business, it was about me photographing models, making them feel good, and that glitzy glamour. It's okay to feel good in your own body type of energy. And honest to God, I didn't know then that one day that was what I really needed to give myself. And honestly, as I was saying, nowadays you just press a button and my God, you've got a filter. But isn't it lovely when you actually look in the mirror and you don't actually hate the person you're seeing back? All right. I might not like myself. I might not like some of my actions. I might not like some of my choices. And I certainly do not like some of my previous choices. But I know that I can look in the mirror and I can love the person that's there because the wee boy that's there has always been there. And even when the whole world was against him, he grew through adversity and he overcame, and he can certainly live to tell the tale. All right, so I love you all loads, folks. I've really loved doing all this, honestly. You have no idea. It's great to be creative. To those who are listening, we're going to have some funnier moments definitely soon later on. We are recording quite a lot of funny material with this, but some of the serious tones, and being honest, I'm wanting them in that wee bit more because I just feel like this is where people are going, well, whoa. It's striking up conversation. It's making people thinking this is where the point is. So you are going to love my next guests. So lots of love, folks. Stay tuned. I'm sorry there is no video with this bit, but if you're listening at home, you can catch the full videos of the interviews, which are brilliant. You've got to check it out because there's photos and all as well included in that. I mean, we talk about the Snake Bailey, for example. There's a photo of that, the photo we did. And, you can check those all out on YouTube or on my socials at Psychic Glen. This is the Upper Glen podcast. We will see you again next week. As we start to get into September, folks, I'll begin to take bookings again for group bookings across Northern Ireland and the UK. If you would like me to come to your home or business and read some of your friends and family, and you get your reading for free, please get in touch via any of my socials at Psychic GLEN. If you need a reading urgently, speak to my psychic team. They have years of experience and can help you on your unique situation. www.psychicglen.com.
يا ليلي يا ليلي يا ليلي لا 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 يا ليلي يا ليلي يا ليلي لا 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 لا